Hello, everybody, and welcome to What Do You Say Anime. I'm your host, Peter. Now, today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the 2014 harem anime, If Her Flag Breaks? Is that what it's called? Because I have some questions about this. But joining me today, first we have... Oh, what is that? Am I getting powers from watching this show? Wow, Miles, you have a happy flag above your head. You must have just listened to the new Taylor Swift album.
It was very good.
Oh, I see some stress flags. Pat and Johnny, you must be finishing up school. Wow, I hope that flag breaks. And then
I'm not stressed because of school, but
It's not breaking anytime soon. No.
I hope it does. And has 1, 2, 3, 4 horny flags. Wow, has. I really hope those flags break. But joining me today, as we mentioned, Miles, Pat, Johnny, and Has. But first, I'm gonna start with Has. Has, how you doing today?
I'm just happy they're, I'm gonna take care of that horny stuff later tonight. And I'm gonna break it myself. Unlike Katate, my flag is very breakable, and I'm doing it. And I'm just glad there are now more people who have watched different flag breaks.
Yeah, we definitely watched it. Doing his best R. Kelly impression, we have Johnny hiding in the closet. Johnny, how's it going?
yeah. So I did not understand why I voted for this show. I had other things I could have done with my life, but I guess all the things I did in my life led up to me watching this show, and honestly, I regret all the decisions I've made in my life.
Well, we're glad you're here, and our first moderator of the night is
not.
Pat. Well, too bad you're stuck in the closet for an hour and a half for talking about the show. Pat, how's it going today?
It's going all right. Yeah, hello everybody. I know this is like one of the few things in my notes that I have. Here, look, a ladle. I'm carrying it around.
Oh, nice.
That's my character. Just that's all the show I am in this show. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Pardon me, but hit me a bunch of times that I don't even know what to say. This show is something that we watched. And I will say at the moment.
I'm glad you made it through, and our second moderator of the night, and probably I think he's gonna be leading most of the conversations is Miles. Miles, how's it going?
It's going good. As Dido said in her 2003 album Life for Rent, but I will go down with the ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door.
Oh.
I'm in love and always will be.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We lost Johnny.
And we lose Johnny.
That really broke Johnny down. Yeah.
And he's back.
Well, and now because Johnny disconnected his... Oh, no, he's back. Okay, well, boys, we watched this show. It was something. I'm gonna pass it to the moderators who hopefully can lead the conversation because I don't know where to start with this one.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't either, but thankfully we have a formula that we've followed for the past however many episodes that we've done of this. So what we're going to follow that formula to start. We do an introduction, spoiler free, first few episodes, what you thought, how you got introduced to the show as well, if you want to throw that in there, what you knew going in. And finally, would you recommend this show or not? We'll just start at the top of my list. Miles, what have you got?
So, I learned about the show through our dear friend Has. Has told me that this show was a meta-commentary on visual novels as a media. And so that's what I was expecting going in. And, so my initial impressions were, wow, it sure isn't yet. Through the first few episodes. But, my faith in Has never wavered. And did that faith pay off? Well, I don't have to listen to the rest of the episode to find out. As far as I would recommend this show or not, it really depends on who you are. If you can't ever not think, don't watch this show.
If you have a conscious brain, don't watch this show.
If you can not think, I think I don't know. I think it's sort of fun. I will get into why I thought it was fun. I'm going to go ahead and not recommend it. I think it was fun.
Thank you. Thank you for catching yourself there. You almost really threw it. Has, what have you got? What's your first impressions? You, Mister, you nominated this show as well. So please
I
try to
did.
defend yourself
I-
real quick, if you have to.
Well, you know, first off, may I say I'm so glad that we don't have only 4 people here, and that there are multiple people here that are just ready to talk about this amazing show. I found this show the 2 months I owned Verve, when I was on my harem binge. I had already gotten through everything that people generally considered good: High School DxD, um, Trinity 7, etc. And we were at like Valak's Love, the anti-magic 35th platoon, and then this came up, and I clicked on it. I clicked it, and I was ready for shitty generic harem. And first episode, that's what I got. Pretty, but then you grow up, and in half a year, when I came back to revisit this, I realized that this is hands down one of the greatest anime ever made.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's it.
I-
Okay.
Oh,
though, if you're
dang.
stuck in academia, no. If you're stuck in academia and you're thinking a lot, it's going to be hard for you to shut your brain off for this.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I definitely lied to get it votes.
Yes, you
so,
did. You did lie a lot to get
Yeah,
it votes,
a
but
lot.
that's fair.
I
That's
did.
okay. At least you went up to it. That's fine. We're used to corruption in our elections, I guess. I don't know. Meta commentary joke there. Yeah, haha. Except there wasn't corruption, so I don't know how that is relevant. But anyways, Johnny, what have you got? I don't know.
Oh god, alright. So to tell you how bad I thought about this show, I actually made a script for what I was going to say. So here it is.
Go ahead.
If Her Flag Breaks is a show that pretends to be something it's not, while at the same time being exactly what it is set out to be. I did not enjoy this. I did not want to watch this. I did not feel joy. The only laugh that came out of this show was me laughing at the decisions that I made in life that led up to me watching this show. Just when the show starts to feel like it's half decent, the post-nut clarity hits, and you realize how much of a dumpster fire this is. I am in pain. I do not wish to watch this again, and I regret every second that I spent watching this cum stain of a show. Would I recommend it? Fuck no.
Thank you, Kat. Oh, sorry, that was Johnny.
sorry.
That was Johnny. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay.
I had to replace him since he's not here for today, you know?
Oh yeah. Cat's busy. He's got a
He's
new job.
getting it.
He is on the prowl.
Oh,
So there we
fuck
go.
off.
Oh, come on, that was funny, Johnny. Johnny, once you get older, you learn
Honestly, like,
to just enjoy bad jokes.
I
You
would
need to
say
just chuckle.
that was a if her flag breaks out of 10, Pat.
Yeah, it was. And so it was
Oh.
it was like so it was like a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I agree. All right, Pete, what have you got?
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. Like I'm like Has. Like I'm not afraid to go down the harem trash trail. I've seen my fair share. And normally what harems do differently, I should say differently, what they do to like catch your attention is they do something to like, because like no one's gonna win, it's just gonna be stupid and fun. So make it funny, make it etchy, make it something. And this show did none of that. There's like one scene in the entire show where I was like, oh, okay, where was this episode 1? And it said it's an episode like 10. And yeah, this is a really good show. If you are having trouble sleeping, turn this show on and you will fall asleep very quickly. Do I recommend this show? F no.
Awesome. Glad someone was on the same page that I was as well. All right, so yeah, this show only heard about it through Has. I like Pete. I've watched some harems and I've enjoyed them, but I normally enjoy more of the rom-com kind of ones where it's just for shits and giggles. It's not meant to be serious. This show gets serious and it's weird. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's warranted, nor does it feel like it's deserved. Apparently there were a lot of things I missed in terms of foreshadowing in the show as well that I guess my brain was just not interested in paying attention or giving the show that credit that doesn't deserve. Uh, um, I don't know. There is one nice thing I have to say about this show, other than the fact that the animation is just standard, and so is the music. It's nothing terrible.
A nice thing, like it was pretty standard.
Yeah, well, no, that's my point. Like, other than like the standard, like, okay, so it's not like
It
there were
wasn't drawn like stick figures.
It wasn't drawn like stick figures. It wasn't like the music was Handshaker's level of grating and depressing and anxiety causing. But I have one nice thing that we can get to later that I think, but it shows you how bad this show was. I would not recommend this to anybody, not even someone that I wanted to make suffer, because this is just, I don't know. Like, I can see how you could find enjoyment in certain bits or certain characters, but it's just definitely not for me. It was not for me. So yeah, Miles, you seem to be most interested in discussing this show out of all of us naysayers. By the way, that is the first show I think that we have ever had where everybody has not recommended it after the watch. So yeah, that's just a fun little tidbit. Even Non-Baka got some recommendations, although not. I think it was only one, but still something. So what have you got for us, Miles? What
So,
kind of
I
discussion
guess,
do you want to take?
well, I think so. I find it interesting that you guys like. So the ending one, I don't find that serious, and also I feel like was very sort of heavily foreshadowed by Johnny. And so I guess I would like to talk about my reasoning behind that, and Has can help me out here. And the people who don't think that can counter that, if that is a good starting
I
point.
think that's a good starting point. By the way, spoilers going forward. Not really much. I guess there is much to spoil. Or there are certain things. There are certain things to spoil that are, I guess, important. But again, the stakes of this show don't really feel like they're really a thing to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I
Alright.
didn't think there were stakes. I never thought there had to be stakes. I thought that.
And they were
I don't-
burnt. They were burnt.
They were burnt steaks. They were like
Yeah.
there's ketchup
Awful.
all
well
over
done.
them.
Even well done steaks, I would
yeah.
say. Yeah, pretty awesome.
So, to spoil people, what happens in this show is you meet a boy named Sota in high school. He's a transfer student, as are all good anime protagonists,
Of course.
and he has
orphaned.
he was orphaned, as are all good anime protagonists.
Exactly. There you go.
And he has the ability to see flags on people's heads. This is hearkening to a term in like video games, which is known as like a flag. So like when you make a certain decision, that character will have like a flag raised, which means they like are your friend now, or they're your love interest now, or they're your bad guy now, or whatever. So he can see sort of like the destiny of these people and how they want to interact with the world around them, and he can alter it through what is said to be practice manipulating this power. However, the period of time from which we learn that he can do this and him receiving the power is about 2 or 3 weeks. So it was really productive 2 or 3 weeks for him. Regardless, what it ends up being is that all of the reality we've seen has been essentially the Matrix, and they are fighting against a program that I don't think they ever explained why it exists and is fighting humanity, but it definitely is fighting humanity. So they never say why, but there is a program fighting humanity, and so he, through this power, is able to fight them, along with the power of friendship as well, is the thing we'll get into. But so while that is quite the twist that we're secretly in the Matrix, there are a few things that I think showed me that something like this was going to happen. Primarily, at the end of the sports arc, where how great they came in second, let them stay in the dorm. You see one of the random. This is another thing Has lied to me about. We'll get to that towards the end. Where one of the so the show is so bad. So like there is a council that the student body president is talking to. It's sort of like an Animal House style, where like they're on double secret probation, the dorm they're in. because it's like one male or two, depending on how you want to look at it, in a all-female dorm, and they wanted to shut it down, but they didn't want to. She God, I'm getting bogged down in the details.
When they don't matter.
Yeah.
They
So,
really
anyways,
don't. The
someone
show is
walks
so-
out. Someone who belongs to this shadow organization we never learned anything about walks out and sort of does like a glitch thing and becomes a woman with a mask. A woman who is very obviously related to our main girl.
What? No way!
It's the same hair.
It's so crazy.
Exact same hair, including down to every nitty little braid. It's
Yes.
crazy.
No. And it's not a family hairstyle, we learn later. It's just how they do it. So you see that. So you know that there's some sort of reality warping going on. You also know that there are these flags appearing on people's head, but not everyone has flags. So that sort of brings us into difference that like someone for some reason is in like a different sort, they play by a different set sort of rules to the other people that are in this world. So Naname, as we learn later, is from the real world, like Sota is, thus her not having flags, as she's not part of this program. That tracks pretty well. We also see some stuff like oh god, what was the thing? I don't know. There was one more piece. It really doesn't matter. I just think like the whole thing.
Hang on. I think it finally clicked for me. I don't mean to interrupt. I don't mean to interrupt, but this is funny as hell. Wait, so I think it's finally starting to click for me. So what you're saying, but no, then the memories thing doesn't still work. Oh my god, no, it's not. I'm sorry.
It's not
We're
clicking.
moving on. We're moving on. This is.
It doesn't click because it doesn't work.
You also know that there is like some events in the past that have that are being replicated now, which I think harkens to it being a sort of alternate reality in some ways. So like when you add those clues, once you find out, I'm like, oh, this does make sense. Now, this isn't to say that the show is good. This is just to say that the show does present its twist in a way that makes sense, in my opinion.
Okay, so the twist being that we're in the AR reality, or in the Matrix, let's say, right? Like I guess that's the best analogy is the Matrix.
Yes.
So the point being that they were all simulations of these who turn out to be real people, but they were simulations of real people, at least, or Akane was, other than Nanami and Sota. So, why does Akane, it's implied at the end that Akane does have the memories from the Matrix, even though she's not supposed to, especially since she's not a real person, because like the idea was that Sota and Nanami weren't supposed to have their memories from the Matrix, but then they did.
So, that's not the memory that they have. So she says, "I kept my promise to you." Again,
where did she make the promise though?
So she makes a promise on the boat as the boat is right. She says, "I promise I will remember you," despite the fact that God Machine person was like. This was a thing that really annoyed me about the show. So there is a scene where you see like basically the origin story of this of our main character. He's on a boat. And some stuff happens, and he gets trapped. And it basically is implied that his friends are going to die trying to save him. And this like god machine sort of thing, who is like the despair of all humanity removed from the machine, is talking to him. And she's like, "Well, I'll make you a deal. If you take on their tragedy and despair, I will save their lives. But you will have to like, take that on." And he's like, okay, I'll do it.
Spent 2.5 minutes monologuing about all the despair he's gonna feel.
Well, then,
and then he doesn't. Well, then he doesn't.
So then he says like, "I'll do this," and then she's like, "Also, you'll have to be alone, and all of their memories will be erased." Whoopsie daisies. And I was like, "Oh, you can't do that's cheating." But yeah, so that is what they were remembering at the end. I don't know if they remember, if like Akane specifically remembers. Like all of the different. Sorry, I'm drinking this Japanese caramel Pepsi.
I'm sorry to interrupt again, but so they're remembering that they got trapped and somehow were saved? Because I thought like time was like frozen when she did all that monologuing. That was my
So yeah,
interpretation of it. So she wouldn't
but they
know
get
about the monologuing.
okay. So she doesn't know about the monologuing, but if you'll remember, as they are all get like spiraling into different realities or something, I don't know. They do say like, "I promise you, I'll remember you," like or whatever. So
Oh.
they had to have been aware of the monologuing. I do agree with you that it definitely doesn't show them being aware of the monologuing like
No.
in what's animated, but their actions say that they were aware of the monologuing, so that is what I am
Right.
going with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
It is-
guess that. Yeah. Yeah, we're writing that. We're doing some death of the writer stuff right now. I feel like filling in the holes that that were left by the
So-
show. But yeah.
Yeah, so this show apparently adapts 14 light novels.
16.
16.
Really?
Even
No.
worse.
So the fact that this show at all is coherent, and it's not very, but it is at all, is impressive. So kudos to the writers for condensing 16 books
13 episodes.
into 13 episodes.
No,
That is actually less episodes than light novels.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
so how long are the light novels?
Probably
Um,
normal
I-
length is my
I
guess.
I can only find the first one. It's no different than any other light novel I've
Jesus
read.
Christ.
What I will say though, in terms of the light novels and the pacing of them versus this one, is that the scene. So the first episode, we get introduced to Nanami, Akane, and I believe we get introduced to Okiku, right, the older sister. All in that first episode.
think
I
so.
don't think so on the first episode.
Okay,
what,
so
what,
there's-
what this chick? The,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Is
ladle
that
chick.
episode-
Yeah.
The ladle
Is that
chick,
episode
yeah.
two?
I think it was episode
Is
two.
that episode two? Okay.
I'm not sure.
So-
My memory's turned to mush.
It
So
ends with him making out with Akane, I think, episode 1.
yeah, okay, yeah. So
Oh yeah, I fucking hated that scene. But anyways.
And in episode 1, you get 2 character introductions and a kiss, right? And what is the first 30 lines of the light novel? You are introduced to both Nanami and the older sister. So I don't know how they adapted this. I don't know how accurate it is, but I could tell you that they slowed this shit down and it still felt like it was going really fast.
Well, we should I was gonna do like an example for season 1 of Konosuba is 2 light novels, 2 volumes of light novels. This is 16 volumes of a light novel in a 13 episode show.
Yeah.
So if you think that they missed something, they did.
Yeah, like Rascal, I remember Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The 13 episode series was the first 5, I think, light novel volumes, and then the movie was 2 volumes worth of light novels. So yeah, that is insane that there is more than. But so my, it's gonna sound really rude, but
Why?
how is there? What else could they have added to the story?
Yeah, okay.
And
so-
to fill in 16 novels worth of
Well-
things other than them just farting around and doing like what they did half of the episodes anyways, right?
So, I would give an explanation, and I can give my example, then we'll go to Haz's example.
Yeah.
So one example I would give, the whole time they have this like allegory of a game that exists with pieces, right? It's like a fairy tale sort of thing. There's like a knight and a bishop and a bard, and over time you start learning that some of these like members of, we'll just call it the harem, are these like mythical figures, like reincarnated or whatever. So one of these characters is the bard, and she's an idol, and you meet the idol for 1 episode, and then she goes away forever. You also, so talking to her, having any sort of depth to that character is something that you can fill some light novel with. The teacher ends up in that final battle for some reason. She has like 1 line. She's also him in an alternate reality.
That confused the
so
out of me. I was so lost on
It
that.
also doesn't make sense with how the explanation we're given, where they run his consciousness through an infinite number of realities to do this, because it was a different person. So they kind of forgot what they were doing halfway through, I think. regardless,
No, they probably did.
there is
Well, they
definitely
said
or connecting
fair, they
code to something you can fill a light novel with.
to be fair, they did say that he was in the universe where she was the MC. It's just that he was her grandfather.
What?
Yeah, no, I remember
Yeah.
that line,
So
and I
in-
was just like,
in-
how does this make any more sense?
Yeah, on the
Like,
ship.
it
Yeah.
doesn't.
It
I
doesn't
thought
make
that was.
sense.
I thought that was Nanami saying that, but I guess it was the teacher.
Yeah, so the teacher
Yeah.
is his granddaughter in an alternate reality. It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Oh, well, what?
The show
See,
doesn't matter.
we're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. We shouldn't be thinking about it. We
You
should.
should.
Which is
You
my
shouldn't do
point.
that.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This show makes you think when it has no right to do so.
I just want to say, has compared this to Perfect Blue.
I did.
Oh my god, that's right.
I
Yeah.
like Perfect Blue
Ooh.
that much, and I still think that's an insult.
So has you had an example for how stuff could be added, like gaps in this? I mean, because I think there are a
Yeah,
lot of
so-
gaps.
There's a lot of gaps. One thing I know for a fact they definitely establish in the light novels, even though I didn't read them, I just read the synopsis because not all of them have fan translations. They definitely establish the real world and the alternate realities more, like they named them. One of them is called Heaven, very specifically, which I'm gonna assume is where the Angelus Gemini is, and
That
that's
would
what
make
that's
sense.
called.
Yeah.
And they also, I believe, established the House of Seven Virtues a lot more. You can also go more into the flags themselves because there was a moment that was slightly glossed over and used in the anime more for power scaling as to how far in the story we're going when he started to see death flags on like the chair or something, which is just to indicate that he's developing his power. So there's quite a bit here to develop, including the teacher herself.
Yeah, like explaining what the antagonists were and why they were doing the thing. That's definitely
guess,
something you could. Yeah.
That's
So
fair.
the reason, see,
So
the
why
show
didn't
is
they, I
so
guess?
bad because it's not nothing's developed. So if you have 16 books of things, it's I imagine possible to take this exact show, and make it good, or at
Yeah.
least
Better.
real.
Catch yourself. Don't say good. Say better.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a universe that exists out there where you add,
Ooh.
like, no matter what you add from the original light novel to this, it's still gonna be a pile of garbage.
What's interesting
I
is that
disagree.
show explores that theory. Is there a universe?
Well,
thought
then
that
the
was the
show
joke
should have
Johnny was-
been then the show should have done another reality where the show is better.
You-
I thought that
you
was the joke Johnny
you
was
want a
going
spoiler?
for, but I guess he's not good enough to get that. I don't know. Go ahead.
You wanna know a
Haz,
theory?
Let's hear the spoiler. Yeah,
So-
let's hear the
slight
theory.
slight spoiler theory.
Do we care?
The light. Yes.
I don't care, but I do care for now. For the next 30
So
seconds.
besides the fact that this has 16 light novels, there is a manga adaptation, which I cannot find any source for, and there is not only a manga adaptation from 2011, there is also a sequel manga called New If Her Flag Breaks that was made in 2016, which is Hatsune Sota. It's not a like sequel. It's Hatsune Sota in the same situation. So I
Is
can
it
only imagine.
Neo progressive, essentially.
That's what
Progressive?
it looks like. It's called If Her Flag Breaks, and I want to read it. So if anyone has the sauce,
Sauce
please
it
send
up.
it.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, Pete, do you have anything to comment on this? We haven't talked much yet.
I mean, honestly,
I don't blame you if you don't.
I'll be honest with you. I'm just waiting until we get to like the best girl conversation because I'm just trying to think of like what I liked about this show, and there's like two girls that I really enjoyed. So when we get there, come back to me. But honestly, this show was just like a pile of nothingness. Just
Yeah.
for example, like they're fighting those like robot angel things in like episode 13. I'm like, okay, so apparently you have this group of girls. They all forget who Soda is. And then they all believe at the same time that they should believe in somebody they've never met. And then you get transported into, I don't know, let's just say the database or something. And they are now all Madoka Magica, like, magical girls. And they can fight angels. And for no reason at all, they just win. And, I mean, they kind of win, they kind of lose, depending on, like, the
well,
situation.
they all lose, and then that inspires Sota, our
Yeah.
fearless MC, who
I-
is just
Like
so.
any,
I should say that they win
like
in
any
the
other show. It's just-
they win in the
Um,
sense that like it's a happy ending at the end, not in terms of the actual battle or anything like that. But it just there's so many just question marks. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is this happening?
So they don't. So I have to say, I'm not surprised about what happened. I don't know how happened. If that makes any sense.
Well, okay, just like the Matrix. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Matrix as an example because this has a lot of references, I think, to the Matrix. And in the Matrix, they fight these programs, and I guess are they fighting like the angels in like real life? Is that like the thing, or like this AI controlled like
Okay, so
wing people are like Terminators or something?
there is like I believe like a fabric between cyberspace and
Yes.
reality
Okay.
where the angels live. Now this is never directly stated.
No, I think it is.
Is
because
it
they-
okay?
Because when he crashes the system for the first time and like he has to quote unquote leave.
Yeah.
They're like, So the way it sounded to me when they were fighting is that every like the servers are lined up next to each other, and it's a visual representation of him going through them. Because if you remember in the fight, she's like, "We're gonna crash this part of the system. We're gonna have to move you," and he just teleports to a different area in this like, right? So there's the realities where they're simulating Hatsute's life, and then there's like the base layer where there's Bladefield, and I'm gonna call it heaven because I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. There's heaven where Bladefield's at, and the angel is Gemini. So
Before
Yeah,
we
I
get
would-
to like the next segment, though, can we just talk about how the final boss is a ghost ship or something like that?
It is
Like
an angel ship.
angel ship.
I DM'd that to Pat just to like let it sink into him what show he was about to talk about.
Yeah.
You're talking about something completely different. We were like
'Cause-
talking about the ratings for the shows that we got, like the votes. And then I was just like, did you know that the ultimate bad guy in the show we just watched
Yeah.
was a boat
Okay,
angel?
because what I thought was going to
They
happen was like
immediately
the ship was like coming out of like I don't know a void. I'm like, okay, there's gonna be like a captain of this ship coming out and they're gonna fight this. No, it's the fucking ship. I'm like,
So
which
I
is
have
dope.
a-
I'm gonna say
It's a
that's
nice
dope.
boat, though.
I'm gonna say
It
that's
is
dope.
very
No, nice boat, nice boat.
It is a nice
is there
boat.
any connection between that boat and the boat that crashed in reality?
I'm
with him?
assuming it's the same boat. It has
I'm
to
That
be.
was
sure
what
they're
I
the same
thought, right?
exact-
I'm pretty sure it's
I
the
don't-
same boat.
I don't think it's the same boat.
But like the
It's
show
it's
doesn't make
supposed
sense,
to
so
be
it
the
has
same
to
boat.
be.
It looks the same. It's like
Why else would it be there? And why
Yeah,
else
but-
would it be
but-
a boat?
Okay, but what is the connection?
It's him having to overcome
They're
the demons
boats.
of
That's
what
the
happened
connection.
in his life. I don't know. Like it was
Yeah,
a
but this-
traumatic
this
moment in
isn't
his
after
life.
Him, like he isn't that important. Like they're after like reality. They're trying to
So
destroy humanity.
I'm gonna.
I need a beer.
gonna-
God damn it! This is unreal. Oh my god.
I want to talk, but I know if I talk, I'm just gonna keep going on for way too long. No one else got time to say anything.
This is a very side note, but a very clever thing that the show did was
This is-
name the main town Bladefield, where all the servers were kept because servers are located on blades, and it's called Bladefield. So good job,
That is
show.
Awful. This is 2 out of 10.
No, that's
No, that's great. I think that's great.
I enjoy that.
More
God.
foreshadowing. You should have seen
Um,
that one coming.
I
What
guess
what
so.
I all the way I think of the last boss ship is that it's so the deal done with the Laplace's demon, which is the white hair girl, not the pink one. That's Sakura. Look at that. They yeah.
How many white girls hairs? What white hair girls are there? Like,
There's the sister, and then there's Laplace's demon.
there's just 2, right?
Yes.
So Laplace's
Okay.
demon does the deal on the ship. Yeah.
No, I
does
thought a
the deal on the
robot.
ship.
Oh, yep.
Oh, well, the robot. On the ship
Dear
where it's like, oh,
Also, there's a robot.
I'm sorry. That's what I was about to say. Like we completely glanced over the fact that in this show that is, I'm guessing, based in today, there is a fully functional cyborg person, robot person that is like AI.
Not
that
only
is-
one of them.
it-
There's
yeah,
more than one of them.
I can't. And
I just
oh
want
yeah,
to clarify something. Like, we are talking about this show pretending like it has like depth and like just actual content. No,
It's a
very
podcast,
narrow.
Johnny. Of
Like,
course
there
we
isn't
are.
much substance to this, but we're still like.
This is like
And this is like one of the points I was talking into, like how this show doesn't deserve to make us think this way, but look what it's doing right now.
what
so
makes the show deserve? Yeah.
The show doesn't deserve this. We are spending more time than we should on this garbage.
See, here's the thing, right? It's fun.
It's fun. I gotta say, it is funny.
like
Right,
it is
just
our
like-
imperative.
It's
on
it's
the
like
show, dude. Make
trying
the
to
show
make
good.
it
And
good.
and-
We're trying to make it make sense, and it's not, and that's why it's fun because we're trying. I guess I don't know. Has go ahead. Sorry.
So
Oh god.
So yeah, Laplace's demon does a deal on the ship. What I think is that Laplace's demon and Sakura are neutral parties in this. Because at the very end, the last thing that they say is that humans exceed our expectations every time. So I think that Laplace's demon and Sakura purposely set up, did that deal, and it somehow it's connected to the Angelus Gemini, and it was the ship being the boss, and specifically targeting Neo. That's what he's gonna be known as now. Neo was the collection of the death flags and like the deal that he took, because he took the deal and then he didn't die immediately, which is what death flags don't kill you immediately. They're just an indicator that you will die.
Right.
And this was him. That final battle was like the visualization of the debt that he did, because I don't think Laplace's demon or Sakura are like evil, but I don't think they're trying to help anyone. So yeah, that's how I interpreted it. Also, Rui's amazing. Let's go to that. Let's just.
Well,
segue.
actually, no. Before we do that, I really want to talk about the overuse of the death flag, because I felt like it's like the most minor situation happened in the show. Death flag, like, oh, she's walking to her room, death flag, and then I think Soda at one point had like 3 death flags on him. I'm like, there's nothing happening. Why would you like? Are people just like constant like?
And then like one, and and also like about the death flag, like how the fuck does kissing someone cancel out a death flag?
No, so
It
my
gave her something to
interpretation of
live
that
for.
scene, exactly. So my interpretation of that scene was that, okay, so the events of her life that were, or like the future that was going for her at that point. It's not that the fall would have killed her without him kissing her or whatever. It's that her life following that would have eventually led to her death, versus him kissing her changed her life so significantly.
Which is also silly
That-
though, because we
is
see
silly, yes.
we
Oh,
see
it's
in a
terrible.
timeline
Yeah,
that
but
she
okay, but-
falls
but-
through the hole and she dies. We see that in like one of those like alternate realities
Yeah,
where like Soda
so-
whatever.
So this is a point where it actually is like a commentary on
Yeah.
how visual novels and stuff work. So like the plot for many visual novels, especially these like harem-like dating sim games, right, is that there are 8 girls, say. You pick one of them, you learn about her tragic backstory, you fix her problems, and like you do, like by dating her, makes her life completely filled, depression solved, life saved. So like that him sort of like being like, oh, how can I save her life? I need to make out with her is actually, in my opinion, a pretty funny, self-aware moment. As far as like what the show is basing itself off of, just because it's sort of like how spoiler alert, Sayori hangs herself in Doki Doki Literature Club, no matter if you tell her if you love her or not, is like a way of saying that it doesn't matter what you do. Jesus Christ, this woman's depressed. Like, you loving her doesn't fix that. This is saying loving that does fix that in this world.
Yeah.
So
Oh, dumb.
Okay.
Okay, Sam. So the death flag means that you are going to die, right?
It's not an immediate flag.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
immediate,
so-
but like the path
so
that
then-
they're following, you will die or something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
then, how does that? Literally, no matter what you do, you die. Then.
Well, no,
No,
because she
because
falls
it
in love
changes her
with
future.
Sota.
She falls in love with him after he kisses her, which is
Yeah.
why her
It
life
changes
She's
her
going to be
path.
immortal. Is she
Yeah, no,
never
so
going to die?
Okay, so it's a
No.
little. It's less.
No.
It's immediate, but it's not immediate. If you know what I mean. So like, you will die soon. You
All right,
won't die immediately.
That's fair. But
Johnny, picture you're walking on a path, and if you keep walking on that path, you will die. But to your right, there's another path, and it's like, kiss me, and then I'll live, and that's what happens, and you take the other path, and then you don't die.
yeah, but the thing is, in that analogy, all paths eventually lead to the same thing, which equals you dying.
Yeah,
but that's
spoiler alert,
I
that's
mean, yeah, because
life.
you're human.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
I
an arguable
just don't
point.
like that concept at all. It just makes absolutely no
Why?
sense.
Now that you mention that, I love that concept.
I don't mind it at all because you will. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Johnny, you're
Okay, so then,
taking
like,
the
explain,
stance
like,
that
Sota.
okay, everyone's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die someday. So everyone should have a death flag. Is the stance you're taking? And I
No,
don't.
I'm saying that
What are you
like,
saying?
well, like, here's the thing that I find annoying with that statement is that like because like how long does Sota have that death flag above his head for?
But that's not a.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, he has that for almost the entire show.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he gets it first on like episode 4 or something, and sometimes it goes away, and sometimes it comes back.
Exactly.
Yeah, but, like, what does that mean?
It's a new death flag when it happens.
Like, oh my
You
god.
also, there's,
Okay, but my brain hurts too much for this.
So, what is insinuated, through the revelation that there are multiple realities, is that Sota died a few million times, just not in this reality.
You're saying the death flag transcends reality?
His death
So
flag
he
is not his death flag.
He
It's
lives
other people's death flag.
simultaneously. Sorry for talking over you, Has.
No, it's fine.
In every reality in the virtual world. So, but the death flag he got also, it's not a death flag. It is symbolic. It's like a burden flag. It is the burden that he took on. So this whole, God, I can't believe we're going to attribute this to the show. The whole show, in some ways, is about him being able to let go of despair and live a happy life and stuff like that. So they, like, because the tragedy happens to him, he takes on like the despair of others to save them, and he is cursed to a life of pain, like mental anguish and stuff. You see that like when he tries to kill himself and shit. So that flag gets overcome via the power of friendship because it's an anime, and that sort of like resolves the issue. But that flag is like not a normal death flag, it's like a curse flag or something like that.
So yeah, like,
So it's not even a death flag.
it is a death flag.
Well, kind of.
But it's not.
Because he's so you gotta understand. Like, eventually,
Johnny, there's
you
gray.
remember the
There's
flashback?
not black and white. It is gray. Like there, you have
Yeah.
to be willing
you-
to accept.
so do you remember?
So what
It's a
I have to
square
do is
rectangle
accept that whatever rules this show set out are bullshit.
No,
No.
that's not it at all. It
What
is
is-
a.
So you're saying the flag can have
We're
so you're
moving
saying the
up to a
flag can have
4 as
multiple
we speak.
meanings?
No, it's so you know how his flag looks different than the other death flags?
They did. I didn't even fucking notice
like,
because I was
swirl.
barely able to. I was barely able to make it through the show.
Okay, so let's drop this conversation, Johnny.
Yes.
I will just point out that the flag is very obviously different if you pay attention to the show.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with this. I'm not gonna argue with you on
We
this
will-
one since
we
I'm
will
assuming
continue
you pay more
from here.
attention.
You know what I think would be a neat idea? I'm going to apologize if anyone's still listening at this point. This show is bad. We do not have our normal planning done. We just didn't do it.
I didn't feel the need. I didn't feel like
I think we can all collectively agree that we barely managed to even finish the show.
No.
I have
enjoyed
one nice thing I can say about the show. and
Episode
I
6
wanna
was
hear what you
great.
guys- The what?
I said episode 6 was great. I really liked episode
You
6.
liked episode 6?
So six,
Okay.
I forgot.
I don't know what it
What
was
is episode
either.
6?
That's the one they're at the beach and they meet the sister. I don't like. Okay,
God.
I don't like the sister. I like the episode.
Okay, fair
What the
enough.
episode's about? Okay, whatever.
I don't know. I didn't particularly enjoy any specific episode myself. But
I really
again,
like
that's
episode 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Cool.
I like that hero.
Okay, so let's.
Can I talk about what I wanted?
What was the thing you liked? Yes.
Yeah,
So there was one thing that, like I talked about in my intro, there was one thing that I thought that this show did, at least had, that was good, and other than art being okay, and that was the concept itself of someone who can see these flags. I thought that if this concept was done correctly, I think it could have been so much fun to have a character that um can see death flags, can see, if someone says something, something changes like that. I enjoyed that part of the show objectively. I just didn't like the execution of it throughout the show.
I agree,
So,
Pat.
like, I think that this could have been so. I forget what show I used as an analogy, that I said to myself, at least as an analogy, that does a stupid thing or one specific. Oh yeah, One Punch Man. I am not a very big One Punch Man defender, but the joke of that show, right, is that he's so overpowered that he kills anything with one punch, and then they build these jokes around it. I think if they did the same thing with If or Flag Breaks, where it's about him being able to see the flags and all the jokes are about the tropes of those flags or the happenstance of those flags, I think that this show could have been so much better, or it would have been more interesting to me rather than it being the harem that and dramatic bullshit that it
wasn't
was.
that dramatic.
The stakes I think were dramatic.
I guess they were technically saving the world. I think an interesting thing to do, and you guys can disagree with me here. Let's just do what the author of this thing did in improv. And I think if we could each pitch an idea to make it better.
Oh, for sure.
That, like, what you think would help the show be better. Haz, you don't need to partake in this because you gave it a 10, which is a masterpiece. Yeah. So you think it is essentially perfect, and that is okay. We're not here to shame people's opinions.
Give some real opinions too, not just by not being the show. Like,
real ideas.
Well, I just really quickly wanted to wrap it off. One other thing that I really liked about this show, which I think is exactly opposite of someone's opinion, I don't remember whose, but I think it was mentioned, is that this show is very committed to, it's very consistent. There is no division. Everyone is who they are, and they stay that way. And to some extent, I enjoy that because it leads to moments where, like, initial shock and then, like, realization, oh, that's normal. For example, when Nanami gets her memories back, there's an earlier joke where Ruri eats electricity through her mouth.
Yeah.
So it's implied that the port for Ruri is in her mouth. And therefore, the only way to transfer data is through a kiss. So she kisses Nanami to give her memories back, which I thought was just like a neat touch. And
I hated that, but now that you say that, it at least is consistent. I still hated it, but at least it's consistent.
That's great.
I will say they had a thought process there, and I thought they just wanted to have two girls kissing.
Why not?
I have an example of what you were talking about, Miles, though, about like how you could. I think you can make this better.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start.
Okay. I think Haz might be the only one who has seen the show, but Yoona and the Haunted Hot Springs. So the show is essentially there's a guy. It's an ecchi harem comedy where the main character can just see ghosts. That's his thing. He can see ghosts. There's no Matrix bullshit. It's just he can see ghosts. That's what this show should have been. And I guess this isn't ecchi, but I kind of wish this show had ecchi. That way I had something to look at. But like, just make it so that the main character can see flags. That's it. Have this like little quirk about him, and just have it be a harem rom-com, something like that.
That's essentially what I said. Yeah,
it would have made the show 40 times better.
I think all three of us share the same point: is that it doesn't need to be this complicated. They could just have this idea where like the MC has this power. We don't know why it's there. It just exists, and then have it just be this shitty rom-com. That would actually make this a lot more enjoyable.
I completely agree. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think all three of us share this opinion, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, imagine him walking into class, and then, like, when at the first episode when he walks into class, and then he sees all these flags, and the way he responds to those characters.
No, yeah, like imagine if you just walk in and you see like on top of this guy's flag, like, oh, he's gonna be a douche towards you, like this guy, he's gonna try to be friendly.
Or he has to have 4 horny flags.
Isn't
Yeah.
that exactly
Or
what
yeah,
happened?
it was just see the class
Yeah,
nerd have like
that's my point. That was the
like
part
that
of the
would be
first episode
such a
that I
better
laughed at.
show if it didn't have all this unnecessary like Matrix bullshit put into it. It's
Yep.
it tried to be more than what it was actually supposed to be.
Yeah.
I
It
guess.
just-
I don't know.
It
So
didn't need to be like this. It just makes the show a convoluted like fucking forest fire
Okay, Johnny. That's
Okay.
okay.
tornado bullshit. I don't
There
know.
we go.
Super,
They're
just,
muted.
just
So-
naming natural disasters now.
The
There we
way-
go. He's got it. He's got it. He's done. He's server muted. He's punished for 30 seconds. That's above our swear rule. Miles, go ahead.
So the way
Continue.
I would go about fixing this is actually kind of the opposite of you guys. I would take all the harem rom-com bullshit, take it, put it right in the trash. Okay, this is in the trash. I've actually thought a lot about how I would make the show good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. So what I would do is you take the concept of the flags and you focus on that similar, but in maybe like still a comedic way, but you can do it a little bit dramatically. So what the existence of flags do is sort of interesting because it proves that destiny is not a fixed thing, right? That you are able to change your fate. So I would have had, again, drop the Matrix bullshit, right? Okay. The person who he thought betrayed him on the boat, maybe have him do that to someone because he's a scared kid and he just was overwhelmed and he didn't think there was anything he could do in that scenario to save them, right? You know, somehow after that event, he is granted this ability to see flags. And through that, he now realizes that death flags and stuff, those can go away. We have control over our fate. He wasn't helpless there. So that, one, causes him to have some guilt or something to work through. Two, gives him like a purpose to go and like right that wrong. And that's why he's like this helpful person and stuff. But he still has like a little bit of a dark past. You know, it's not like he was evil. He was just a scared kid, but he didn't save someone he could have. And then through that, you can also have some like gags and stuff. But like, you know, ultimately him having the flags means nothing for his character. It does nothing for him. And so giving it something to like affect on him, I think would help the show a lot so that he could go through some sort of progression. That's just my 2 cents.
I could see that. I think that would be enjoyable too, or more enjoyable than what it was. Again, that's the key word there. It needs to be more enjoyable than it currently was.
Yeah, you have a smaller female cast. You just
Yeah. Like the cast was gigantic. We haven't really talked about that yet much, but like just to put it bluntly, there was what, like 12, 13 female,
I believe there
like,
are 10.
implied female, like yeah, it's
Well, do you
It's-
want to talk about Best Girl then?
yeah, I guess we can transition right into that. I don't want to talk about this any longer than we have to. So yeah. So we'll do best girl. There's I don't know. I guess there's not really a best boy either because there's really not, outside of Sota. There's literally no other male characters in the show.
Well, there is.
Megamu, though?
Well,
Megu is technically
Yeah.
a
He's
male gender.
somewhere he just had a heart attack.
you guys.
Like that scene where someone calls him a girl 100 miles away and he freaks out.
Yeah, that was so funny. That was the one time I laughed at that joke. Well, again, so you guys beat me to the punch there by saying that because I was just gonna say best girl for me. What is the boy who gets mistaken for a girl? Just in case you guys forgot that happens in the show, because you know they only made that joke once or twice. You know, it was maybe once or twice, but
Maybe.
but yeah, maybe, just maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Best girl for me. God, I haven't thought about it actually. I just thought of the joke for it. I guess Naname. No. What's her name? The one he ends up with at the end.
Akane.
Akane?
She's the least lolly looking and most interesting looking one, I guess. And she was kind of funny at times. She's ditzy, stupid. I don't know.
I think that's a good pick. I like Akane.
I like Akane a lot. I don't. There are a lot of things I don't like about her too. That's the other thing. There's not a girl in this that's like flawless or.
Pat, that is where you are incorrect.
Is it?
I'm
Alright,
gonna
so
steal
please
the.
tell
I'm
me.
gonna steal the ball from you because the best
Please
girl
do.
in this show, who is absolutely perfect and has no flaws, is Rui. Rui the robot is. Rui the
Oh, yeah.
robot is an
Rui.
amazing character. I
It is.
absolutely adored her. Her yes or no shtick that she did never got old. I love that. I love that so much. She was such an amazing character. Like Has said, just like her clips of just like chewing. I mean, it's her charging, but it kind of looks like she's just like chewing on like a phone charger.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so. Oh, what a
The
wonderful
electricity
character.
here tastes good.
Yes.
Um,
And just like her,
was funny.
she's kind of like she's supposed to be like an airhead robot, if that makes any sense. So like, there's like one scene where Akane is sad and tells Rui that he misses Sota. So then she just turns into like a jetpack on her back, and then picks up Sota, and then flies him to Akane, and that was just amazing. Yeah, anytime Rui's on the scene, I really enjoyed the show. That's why I'm not giving it a 1.
I liked the scene with Rui where they were on the train, and like the assassin robot shows up, and Rui's in her like little travel form because her main body is getting maintenance, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'll protect you." And she like waddles towards it and like is this like little chibi thing, and then the other robot just steps over her. Because I don't know, I thought something was going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Well, the show does a lot in terms of subverting expectations. So, I guess Miles, why don't you just give us your best girl since you're talking anyways? What's your best girl?
So, God, this one's hard for me. I actually have a few different best girls. I haven't been able to decide, so I'm going to start with worst girl. And this is very easy, and I'm very passionate about this subject. The grandma character.
True.
Is the worst girl. I hate her. I hate the concept of her. I hate that someone thought of her. I hate the person who thought. Here's the thing. She is a grandma, but also she's a lolly. She became a lolly as she aged. Also, she doesn't wear pants. Also, she wears a baby's bonnet thing.
Yeah.
She did win the beauty contest 10 years in a row once. She's still in high school. I don't know what she's doing. Everyone just accepts it. I get that's the joke. I understand it's the joke. She talks like a grandma. And I hate it. It is, the joke grates me. It is against
It's not funny. It's
nature.
not funny. It's terrible. It's not funny.
It is like
a bad joke.
The first time I saw it, I was like, this isn't funny to me. I guess I understand why someone could think this funny. Thank God that this will be the only time this woman appears. That's where I was wrong.
Yep.
She just shows up more. She moves into a dorm with a bunch of children. So I'm gonna go ahead and say she's a pedophile. And I think that I'm fine in saying, and I think it's true. She judges a child beauty contest. So I hate the grandma. I hate her, and I want her to die. And I wish she had died. She didn't deserve to ride a dragon at the end. Someone else should have gotten that, because that's cool. Riding dragons is cool, and the grandma sucks.
That's a new quote. I'm gonna quote that real quick, but continue.
Yeah. Best girl.
Best girl. I'm gonna say it's probably Rui, but for the sake of conversation, I'm just gonna pick someone different. I'm gonna say it was the president. I don't even remember her name. The purple-haired president girl.
She was fun.
I thought she was fun. I liked how she
like
really wanted to be part of the harem and just wasn't. No one liked her.
Yeah.
Like she has like this whole summer thing. She's like, oh, I really miss Sota. I hope he didn't see anyone else. And then she like walks in and he's like talking to another girl, and then she gets like really sad. She was just sort of there to be shit all over, and I thought that was funny. She wore arm pads for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get either. Like, what was her outfit? I don't know. But she was fun.
Kendo thing? I don't know. I liked the arm pads. I thought they made her look cool.
Yeah, they did.
They served
no purpose. Didn't make any sense. Yeah, but they were cool. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Has, what have you got?
Wow, what a hard question. This is, I mean, in a cast of what are essentially the perfect anime tropes, how do you select one? It says a lot about your character. It says a lot about who you are and your shitty waifu selection.
Mine didn't reveal anything. I didn't know about it.
So, I mean, the worst girl for me, obviously, is whatever that red-haired poor farmer girl is. Shout out Miles. Yeah, little fucking stain on this earth. She sold this man like what? Hydrated. I don't even know.
Milk, wasn't it?
Milk mixed with water.
Water and milk. She's the fucking demon of the overworld. Best girl. Part of me, like a lot of me, wants to say Ruri, right? But much like Miles, I feel like conversations have to be interesting. I could say Akane, because Akane is the one that clearly wants to bone the most and is probably the most forward about it, in my opinion, talking about being an animal on me.
Well, the childhood friend.
The childhood friends also, but like she's like a oh and you stole president from me, Miles. So I'm gonna go with the sister, the Princess Bladefield, the 14th one. Just because her maids have guns, and she's fucking rich, and she's a princess. And I like guns on anime women.
I liked her quote about like, are you asking my age because you're Japanese and you want to see if you're superior to me? Because of like the hierarchical, like whatever. Like I thought that was
Honorifics and
funny.
stuff.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Um,
All right, Johnny, what have you got?
This is probably the hardest time I've ever, the hardest thing I've ever had to fucking do, because so, I'm gonna go ahead and say that all these characters are written to be nothing but jokes. So how I'm looking at these characters, I'm looking at how funny I found their jokes to be. Not based on
Okay.
the characters themselves, because the characters themselves are literally cardboard cutouts. So for me, actually, it's going to be the childhood friend, and I think her name is Rin something.
It's Rin.
Right?
Yeah, it's Ren.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the only reason is I find it fucking hilarious that a little girl would just pretend to be a guy just so she can beat up other boys. I don't know why. I just found that like to be like such a stupid thing to do, but like I don't know. I just found it funny, I guess.
Yeah.
And for worst girl, well, honestly, they're all equally bad. But if I had to pick one, I'll pick the blue-haired ones, like May. I think
Oh
that's
my
her.
god, yes.
What a
Yeah, jump
weird
for the-
story for her.
Just for the fact that they literally like she came out supposed to like she was the most interesting like out of this cast, and then her memory got wiped and she just became like tsundere number 3.
Yeah, she's literally the third tsundere. It's
What's
unbelievable.
the point?
I
And then this is coming from a man who has Toradora as this number 1 anime of all time, so you can tell like I did
He's a
not enjoy
tsundere,
this
man.
at all.
God. Okay, that wraps up our best and worst girl conversation. Thank God we can move on now to our final thoughts and scores. So please, Miles, kick us off with your final thoughts and score for this show out of 10. Keep this in mind as you listen. It is out of 10 that we are giving
So
this show.
these scores are of course out of 1,000,000. So
That would be really bad. No matter what. You give it.
yeah.
You could give it a 10 and it would be terrible.
So I don't know what to feel about the show. The show is clearly bad. Like when I think about it and when I piece it together, it's awful. And none of it makes sense. There is no connectivity between scene to scene. They leave out huge parts. If she's his sister and he remembers his sister, how come he doesn't know she looks like his sister? There are just so many questions. I will say, while watching this anime, I didn't have a bad time. So lots of you guys seem to have had a bad time while watching this. I had a good time. To me, this was akin to watching Sharknado. Is it good? No. Do you get to see a man jump through a shark with a chainsaw? Yes, you do. And so, much in the same way, is this show good? No. But does a robot girl take off with another girl in a jet and it's like kind of cute? Yeah, that does happen. It's cool. I've been all over the board with this show where I should rate it. You know, is it a 10? Is it a 2? I think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this show a 6. And retroactively, I'm going to give 2 other shows that I gave a 6 a 5. So we're going to switch Handshakers, which was a 6, to a 5. We're going to switch Nambaka, which was a 6, to a 5. We are also going to take Tadakun Never Falls in Love. We're going to bump that up to a 7. So I am just retroactively changing. You know what? Never mind. I'm redoing all of this. This show is a 5. This show is fine. Okay, we're going to change 2 things. Handshake. Look, this show has really changed the way I see the
multiple
world.
realities.
Yeah,
Right now.
I am a glitch in the Matrix. Okay, so Handshakers is now a 4. Nanbaka is now a 4. Those shows were bad.
Yeah.
The show is also bad, but I enjoyed it for whatever godforsaken reason, so it's fine. And 5, I believe, is fine.
It is.
It
Okay.
is.
So this show is fine. I don't suggest watching it. You will not like it. I am not sure why I liked it, but I did. It's awful though. So
It's fine, but it's awful, is what you're saying.
it's good, but also it's terrible. Is what I'll say. Like-
I
I haven't seen
Okay.
a lot of bad generic anime, so I'm seeing a lot of this stuff for the first time.
yes,
So, like,
you are.
So
That's very true. That's
so,
a good
like-
point. Yeah.
like a lot of these character tropes and stuff that honestly might just be super duper run of the mill harem things are not things I'm familiar with. So they're potentially more endearing to me, and less tired. The two harems that I've seen DxD, I've seen the quintessential quintuplets. For like pure harem shows, as opposed to something where there's like a quasi harem. And I would say that this show's harem is very different than those shows' harems for the most part. And so, I don't know. Like, why was that girl carrying a label? I don't know. Was it kind of fun that she was? Yeah, why not? I don't know.
Why is Pat carrying one?
Yeah, why is Pat carrying a ladle? Like, it shows that she's motherly and likes cooking or something. I'm not sure. I don't care why she's carrying it. I don't care why the president is in body armor. None of this makes sense to me, and none of it needs to make sense. So, I'm gonna give it a 5.
5. There we go. So 5. 5 out of 10. Fine is your score for this show. Okay. Let's get the other higher score out of the way. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so much like Miles, when I saw it for flag breaks, a lot of my anime world changed. Cause see, I said earlier, I think it's safe to assume I've watched the most harems out of anyone here.
Probably.
And
Probably by a
like-
country
I feel like
mile. Yeah.
5, so yeah.
I've scraped the bottom of the barrel. I'm talking Valek's Love, which is not enjoyable in any facet. It's not even funny to laugh at. And the 35th Magic Platoon. I always bring those two up because those are bottom of the barrel. This show is horrendous. It is an atrocity. There are very few things that reach bottom of the barrel and then break the bottom and proceed to go to the lower deck of the ship. But this is one of them. However, this show is so quick to point out how bottom of the barrel it is. Through characters like Nanami, or just straight up juxtaposition and completely breaking a rule that was established about 5 seconds earlier. Whether that be the fact that everyone has flags, except for the first girl you meet. Oh, and flags can be toppled, except for the second girl you meet. And then the third one just dodges. If you... this show, we stretched out a lot of conversation. I don't know how long we are. This show does not require this much thought. It's a show of whether
No.
did you like it? No? Cool. It gets no deeper than that. And for me, I can laugh at horrible things. I do it all the time. My average mouse score is a 6.8. So this show is a 10. Yeah.
Wait, did you actually wait, it's a 10? It's a 10.
Yes.
10 has. It's equivalent to Violet Evergarden. Okay.
I wasn't here for Violet Evergarden.
I know you gave it a 10 though.
Yeah. Violet Evergarden is going to go down to an 8 after watching this.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's still comparable is Mononoke, because much like Mononoke, if her flag breaks, it makes you think about the world differently. Through the visual juxtaposition of and lighthearted elements. It explores these deep themes about love, much like the boat, the arc with the boat, in Mononoke, and it has these characters that are so compelling, that and Hatsune Soto is just such a great MC that he has acquired what is essentially the biggest harem in anime. 10.
10. 10 out of 10. You heard it here first, folks. Okay. Uh, thanks for that, Has. I guess I don't know. Johnny, go ahead.
I
with
don't
your
want to go
closing
after
thoughts.
that, but I guess I'll do it
Well,
for
you
the
can
sake
make
of
it
my
really
community.
quick if you want.
Just make it quick.
Okay.
You
You've
can
already said
literally
how
just
much
say
you
this
hated
show sucked and give the number.
No, but I will give a reason why this show is absolute garbage. I'm not here to hate on. I have a reason to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate shows that are self-aware, and then yet they do the exact same things that the shows they are trying to like make fun of do, and that is exactly what the show does. It's not better than any of those other shows. It doesn't do things differently. Stop pretending it is. It's a piece of garbage. And I don't know why anyone likes this. Who thought it was who decided to adapt this? Who decided this was a good idea?
I will tell you, Hood's Entertainment. That is the studio who did this.
Also, we
Who
don't
now?
know if the light novels are bad since there's approximately like 10 times the material. Like, it could be good. You know what I mean?
What's
If
their
you-
rating on Mal?
Okay,
Out of curiosity.
I guess you have a point, but either way, the
The
way
light
that
novel
this
rating?
show was made, it was basically made as an insult. It's an insult to my time. I spent 4 hours of my life watching this when I could have done something so much better with my time. I was literally there trying to go through the episodes as fast as I could because I realized that this was not something I wanted to do, and I have almost never done that with anime. So with all that aside, the only reason that I'm not giving this a freaking like 0 or 1 is because there were times where I actually found the show funny. Deep buried beneath all that garbage, I guess I found something that made me laugh. So my rating for this show, 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
Don't worry. You don't have to.
I am not okay today. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Clearly, you're
Yeah, today.
Okay.
You're hot and bothered, and that's okay. Pete, why don't you go next?
Well, I just want to say what Has did. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie 21 Jump Street, where Channing Tatum's character is high on some form of hallucinogen and is writing the number 4 on a whiteboard over and over and over again, going over compound materials and science, and then finishes with the equation, science bitch, and then leaves the room. That's exactly what Has did. He said a whole bunch of nonsense and gave it a 10. Yeah, this show sucks ass.
Yeah.
The first 5 episodes were really bad. Like, it made no sense. It continued to make no sense. And then just when you thought it couldn't make any more sense, we end up in the Matrix. So, that being said, I went through my Mal to see where I would rank the show compared to other shows that I've watched. This is not the worst show I've ever seen. So it's getting above a 1. It's better than Aroma Sensei, so it's getting above a 2. And then I had to come to the hard decision. Is this show better than Nanbaka? And I came to the conclusion that it was. So I am going to give If Her Flame Breaks a whopping 4 out of 10.
A 4.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I hope Kat doesn't watch this episode.
I think he would kill us if he did.
He's gonna kill us anyways.
True. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So similar to you guys, I actually thought Nanbaka was better than this. So Kat, don't worry, I got your back, buddy.
Me too, actually.
Also,
Yeah,
this
so-
is a 2 and non-Baka's a 3. Just Pat thanks.
Nanbaka is a 4 for me still, but yeah. So I don't know. This show is just. Like Pete said, it is awful. I was listening to what Haz was saying, and I don't understand how he came to a conclusion of a 10. That analogy from 21 or 22 Jump Street was great. That is pretty much how I felt listening to him. But yeah, I am at a loss for words as to what to say about this show. I can't recommend it to anybody, and I can't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen, like what Pete said as well, because it's not citrus. It's not something that takes, a concept that makes no sense or is just not, I don't know. We're not getting into that. It is not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I would not want anybody to have to watch this show. I'm glad we did it so that you guys don't have to. I am giving it a 3 out of 10 because it is really, really bad. So yeah, that rounds us up to a 25 points out of 50, which
That's
means
5.
that is a 5.0 average for this show.
Does
It's
that make it
fine.
the lowest show?
No,
No, it's not.
That is not the lowest show.
I think Handshakers is still the
Single-handedly
lowest.
saved the show.
Yeah, so there's a single person who might have saved this show from being the lowest ever. But Handshakers is a 4.66, Nambaka was a 4.86. So it is not our lowest show ever that we have done. Somehow. I don't understand. But yeah, that concludes our discussion of If Her Flag Breaks by whatever that studio was that Pete just said. Don't think I'll watch any more.
Hood's Entertainment.
Hood's Entertainment,
It's
yeah.
no wonder I love it.
They've done one good show. It's Drifters.
And that's it. There you go.
That's it.
So yeah, so now let's move on and find out what we are watching for 2 weeks from now for our Christmas episode. Our closest to Christmas time episode, but not Christmas episode.
Yeah, we fucked up our schedule, but
We
Yeah,
did
we
fuck
did.
up our schedule.
We
So,
did. It's okay.
Who cares?
our nominations over the last week were as follows. We had Tokyo Godfathers, very appropriate Christmas show. Prison School, Paprika, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions, 91 Days, and Yuri on Ice. We had a very tight race. I think it's probably one of our tightest ones. So, first off, sorry, Tokyo Godfathers, you didn't make the cut. Now, let's move to shows that came in third. With 7 points, Prison School, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions, and Yuri on Ice came in third, each earning a legacy point. Then, technically coming in with the most vote points was 91 Days with 9 points. So 91 Days, second after we do the legacy point addition here, but most points accrued, which is, I believe, it has the honor of being the first show to receive the most points and not be
Yeah.
watched.
That's
So,
true.
Congratulations. And in first place, let's get into the Christmas spirit and watch some more Satoshi Kon, because Paprika is the show that won.
Yay!
Yeah, the spice of life, I guess. I don't know.
sure.
It should be a better discussion than this one. I don't really know. And it's a movie, so it's perfect for those of us who are very busy right now. That and also just in general, people are gonna be busy. It's that time of the year. So yeah. We are watching Paprika, and now we need to nominate shows for our late Christmas special or holiday special that we're gonna do. So we are nominating this week shows that either have to do with winter or Christmas. They may have a Christmas arc or episode. But yeah, we're still sticking to our 12 to 13 episode limit, or one core limit. But yeah, so let's go through. Miles, what show are you nominating this week?
1 second.
What show are you nominating this week?
Can I get 1 second too?
Johnny,
Wow.
what show are you guys nominating? What are you nominating this week, Johnny?
Fine, okay. I'll just say it so that, like, honestly, since if someone else nominates this, then I have nothing else. So my nomination is going to be a Gabriel Dropout.
Gabriel.
Oh,
Dropout,
okay.
all right. I didn't know that had a Christmas or anime theme to it.
It did. They have a Halloween theme for
did.
sure.
There you go.
Yeah, and it also has to do with angels and demons, so I guess somehow related to
And
Christmas.
Jesus was born on Christmas. We got there.
Wow.
we-
Yeah,
I like that.
close
I'm
enough,
fine
close
with
enough.
I'm with that. I don't think anyone would have stolen that nomination from you, Johnny. I'll be honest, but that's fine. That's fine.
I know, I'm just saying, I would have literally nothing else.
I think it's important to note that has a nomination.
Yeah.
I have
You
one
know,
too.
So, I
I was
let's
gonna say Pete.
when
Or
I-
we could go to Pete, but it's
go
fine.
to
Go
Pete.
ahead. Yeah, there we go. All
You
right,
know,
then Pete,
because
go ahead.
I came prepared.
came
Because
prepared.
That's
Thank you,
that's
Pete.
that's what you do. So
I came prepared too. I just couldn't type the thing in, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. In
Okay.
Mal, but typing hard.
So this movie, I don't actually know because I've never seen it, but when I looked up the best holiday anime movies, this was number 3, and I thought it'd be really fun because what's better than 5 dudes talking about magical girls? So I'm going to recommend Sailor Moon S the movie.
You just won Miles' heart.
I know I did.
Sailor Moon S. Okay, that's I didn't even know that was a Christmas movie either. So yeah.
According to a website called cbr.com/best anime movies for the holiday spirit,
So we're
Sailor
just
Moon
gonna-
S.
That's good. That's literally the 3rd season of Sailor Moon, I believe, just condensed into a movie. So this will make no sense.
Sure.
Let's go.
Hey, is either that or some? I was gonna say Tokyo Godfathers, but I'm sure somebody else is gonna say that.
No one else is going to say that.
All right, fine. I'm changing my. Tokyo
There we go.
Godfathers. That
I'm
way,
fine
it's not the
with
third
that. That's
season.
better. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Tokyo Godfathers. There we go. Haz, what have you got?
So the real, I've had a long history here. I've gone from random throwaways to Violet Evergarden nominations, and then following that up with If Her Flag Breaks. And at this point, I don't know what my reputation is anymore.
Tarnished.
Yeah, I mean, we joke a lot about Johnny having the worst taste, but if we're being like really honest, I'm the person with the worst taste here. And I could stay on brand, or I could try to fix that again. And it's really hard. I want to nominate If Her Flag Breaks OVA, which is a Christmas
The
special.
Christmas OVA. Yeah.
Which would be the most on-brand nomination, I think, out of all of us. So honestly, it should win by default, but I'm thinking more. Let's go like middle, above, bit middle. And I'm gonna nominate the ReZero Memory Snow movie. Can I do that?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can actually.
Yeah.
That's like,
So
like
ReZero
Johnny
Memory
Miles.
Snow.
Johnny, you're not a moderator. You don't make that choice.
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah,
Hush.
actually,
I'm talking
no.
to people with
Hey,
power.
Johnny,
Okay, I
no,
get that.
no, but-
I'm sorry,
no,
I
yeah,
don't have the
think-
right to talk then. Okay, I'll see you guys.
I think all of us have seen ReZero or are caught up enough or to the point where
You would have
at least
needed to see season 1.
One.
so-
Yes, right. So I think we could do that. Yeah, that makes
All right.
sense.
So ReZero Memory Snow.
I haven't actually seen that yet, so that's good. Good call. I like that one, Has. That's a very smart nomination.
If Her Flag Breaks is gonna win next week after that, though.
Yeah, the one episode OVA, I would actually love that.
Yeah, let's see if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
It will.
enjoyable to watch.
Miles, what nomination do you have?
So this is a holiday/winter themed thing. What is winter known for? Being cold, right?
Hmm.
What else is cold?
Dead bodies.
Ice.
Outcast.
Ice. Oh,
My soul.
yeah.
Okay, the
Pete
closest
and I
one
jumped to the same one. Yeah.
is Pat. Antarctica is cold. So,
oh,
I-
say it!
I'm going to put my money where my mouth
Say
is
it!
and nominate a place further than the universe.
Yeah, let's go!
Yeah. that's a
Let's
good show.
go!
Yeah, I like that. I love that show. That's a great.
Yes!
I've talked a lot of shit about it based
you
on
have.
literally nothing.
Yes.
Other than wanting to talk shit about it. To me.
Literally the inspiration for the podcast.
But
Yep.
I figured that I have a slogan, and that slogan is, if I make fun of something, I'm willing to watch it eventually. And this is that eventually.
What a
if it's-
slogan.
It rolls off the tongue. It really does.
Yeah.
You still got to finish Bunny Girl, by the way. We're still waiting on that. But
I'll get there.
no, you won't.
No, you
It's
won't.
okay. Okay. It's
Never
okay.
will.
Yeah, so my nomination, I was ahead of the game plan. Maybe it's because I had this thought when I did this nomination last week anyways. But yeah, I'm going to just renominate Yuri on Ice because it's perfect for winter. It's, ice skating, closest thing we have to a hockey anime until
October, baby.
October. I am looking forward to next October with that. I don't know what the hell that's going to be. It's not going to be the hockey anime.
It's
I wanted.
Idols on Ice Skates. Let's go.
You know what? It's better than no hockey anime, which
I
we
agree.
have right now. So yeah, we're nominating Yuri on Ice. We're gonna watch a show about all the people that we used to make fun of on the rink ourselves when we played hockey. So yeah, Yuri on Ice. It should be fun. I do need to watch it. We're born to make history, right, guys?
I just want to speak for myself and not for Pat. I was not making fun of ice skaters on the ice rink while I was playing hockey.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Pat's a bully.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know.
Can't confirm.
Grew up in. Yeah. Okay.
I'm from
I guess we
Minnesota.
both-
Come on.
Yeah, you grew up. Yeah, and you guys know hockey better than us, I guess. Yeah. So yeah. There we go. On that note, that awkward note where I made a bad joke and then Pete made me shamed for
Yep.
it. We're gonna end that episode and And thank you again for tuning in to our watch club. Pete, why don't you wrap us up?
Yes, thank you so much. We are affiliated with Books A Million. If you are looking to purchase light novels, actual books, physical copies of manga, use our affiliate link in the links below, and you will help support the brand. We have a Discord. You can come talk anime, manga, TV, music, Taylor Swift, anything you like. And that will also be in the link below. And we have a Twitter. What do you say, Annie? That's What You Say ANI on Twitter to stay up-to-date information on Attack on Titan slander and anything anime related. I run that account, so if you like anime, or if you like Attack on Titan, you should follow me, and then we can get in a heated debate. Other than that, we will see you in a week for part 2 of our winter preview, as we have like 14 more shows that we have to preview for next season. So look forward to that in a week. And other than that, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.